Brandon's in charge. Got it. Okay, now that I have your attention. Good afternoon, everybody. We're conscious of time. It's 4:05, so we're going to get started as the chairs walk out of the room. No worries. If everybody could take their seats, we'll get started. My name is Beth Ernst. You should have an agenda in front of you on the table, and we'll get started. I am the chair this year, 2023, of the High Point Economic Development Corporation. This is my second year as chair. A lot of fun. Every time I get together in this room with this group of people, I'm amazed at the transformation that's happening in the city of High Point. I think it's interesting that Andy decided to put a mic on me, because usually I don't need assistance with voice projection, but I'll do my best to stay on point. A couple of things to draw your attention to. I would like to introduce a new board member that is joining us on the High Point Economic Development Board. Her name is Brenda Dietz. Brenda, if you'll stand up, she's from Citizens Bank. She was recently appointed by City Council and recommended by Councilman Britt Moore. So thank you, Brenda, for joining our group. All of you who are on the standing board, please take time today to introduce yourself to Brenda so she has a warm welcome. I would also like to say congratulations to our very good friend, Rachel Collins, for being named president and CEO of Business High Point Chamber of Commerce, and 3 cheers. And with that, do you want to do introductions? Yeah.
I think maybe we could do real quick around the room and everybody just introduce themselves and their organization.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Everyone will get a feel. We're here. We have Fox 8 in the room. Mackenzie might have just stepped out, but anyway, we are being recorded. So choose your comments wisely. We are also broadcasting on YouTube. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
Thank you very much. Good point. Good to point that out. So we'll start at this time. Actually, let's start in the back and work our way around and come to here. So if you start in the back, sir, stand up and let's hear who you are and where you're from.
Sure. My name is Fred Henry, I'm business engagement manager of Giftworks, which is a different kind of workforce program.
I'm Maurice Hull, Marketplace Management here in Holland.
Chris Bryan with Truist here tonight.
Yes, Rachel Collins with Business High Point. Amy Nagum with the High Point Market Authority.
Corey Rayborn, an attorney with Wilder & Hertzweiler.
Good afternoon. My name is Lee Tillery. I'm the director of Parks and Recreation in the city.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to City Lake. I'm Tasha Logan Ford, City Manager for the City of High Point. Let's start economic development.
Hey everybody, Montana Brown, Economic Development Manager of the City of High Point.
I'm Kelly Scarpolini, intern from HBO.
Jay Wagner, Mayor.
Hello again, Brenda Dietz, Citizens Bank.
I'm Lena Price, Tribe Business Bank.
Scott Holbrook with QRIS. We just occupied space at the center field of the ballpark last May.
I'm Ken Smith with Smith Leonard CPA Group.
Morgan, I'm honored to be a past chairman of this board. We've been on a long time, and I'm an attorney here, going in my 55th year. Crazy.
Good afternoon, Carl Lee Foster, Gift County Commissioner.
Justin Thompson with Capital AV.
Good afternoon, Manuel Dudley, Vice President of Workforce, Gilbert Tech.
Hi, I'm Brent Christensen with Greensboro Chamber of Commerce, a proud of the Guilford County Economic Development.
Lindsay
Mackenzie Ayers from High University. Shout out to our intern there.
I'm Sandy Dunbeck, Director of High Point EDC and also the Gulf County Economic Development Alliance. And we do have some people in the back we're going to shout out to as soon as Sarah gets done.
Good afternoon, Sarah Stevenson, High Point Economic Development.
Yes, absolutely. So Brian.
Brian Gallagher, 014 FC.
Yes.
Brandon.
And Brandon.
Communication specialist at High Point.
Absolutely. And Mackenzie is here with us from Fox 8. Thank you for showing up in the coverage. And we'll let you guys introduce yourself briefly. We know we'll hear from you more, but I think it'd be great.
Hi, Ria Hazelwood. I'm a member of the ownership group for Carolina Core FC.
I'm Chris Beretta, Carolina Core FC and CRO. Andy Smith, President of Carolina Core FC.
Eddie Pope, Chief Sporting Officer for Carolina Core FC.
Nice. Excellent. Well, with that, we are in probably what Sandy described as a really beautiful building. For those of you that have lived in High Point a long time, you questioned the definition of a beautiful building at City Lake Park. No disrespect intended, but I was kind of blown away when I drove in here. So I'm going to turn over to Lee Tillery and ask him to tell us about this fabulous setting. And I have to tell you, when I walked in the room, he hugged me and we were chatting and he mentioned a lazy river. And so my whole focus for the meeting has been skewed because evidently there's a new lazy river out there.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me okay? Again, my name is Lee Tillery. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation, and I should have initially said, when Tasha said, welcome to City Lake, I should have said that first time too. I should have said, welcome to City Lake. But anyway, welcome to City Lake Park. For you longtime residents, and Beth made that comment. She said, I can't believe we're meeting at City Lake Park. You know, it warmed my heart when she walked in here and her eyes got real big. And she did lose her attention when I started talking about Lazy River. I'll talk about that a little bit more. But what you're sitting in is a newly renovated City Lake Park, obviously, and a perfect example of when a city reinvests in itself, what you get. This is our most used park. This was our most used park in the city before we did our renovations here at City Lake Park. This is a regional attraction and always has been. And it's been a place that many residents in the city of High Point have cherished for a number of years. So for us to be able to include this in our 2018 bond package was really, really exciting. We got to work on it right when COVID started as far as some of our planning and design. And we're still finishing up today. So when we started this project, I had more hair, it was less gray, and I was a little bit younger, had a little bit more energy. But no, it's been a great project, and we're very excited about this project. A little bit of history. City Lake Park is one of the oldest parks in North Carolina. If you look at local municipal governmental parks, City Lake Park is one of the oldest parks in the state. We started this park in 1933. It was a Works Progress Administration WPA project with President Roosevelt. So volunteers that were working, people working during the Depression came in and actually started what is City Lake Park today. So there's a lot of great history there. Obviously, we've done some improvements and renovations over the years. A lot of things fell into disrepair, and I'm so excited that this was a project again as far as one of our bond projects. The other one in Parks and Recreation is the construction of a new senior center, which will come down the road. But we got on this project first. And what you're sitting in is what we're calling the meeting and event center. This, as you know, used to be an old gymnasium. And when I go back and talk a little bit about some of the history in High Point, we have a history wall when you take a break on this side of the wall. Next to the restroom. So I invite you to take a look at it. There's some great history, not only from local residents, but some pretty national events here too. You may or may not know it, but this used to, I think Jay and I talked about this last time we were here. This used to be a mecca for boxing. The Spinks brothers boxed here. If you've heard of Leon and Michael Spinks. Ken Norton boxed here. If you go out there and look, Ken Norton boxed here, I think about a month before he had a bout with Muhammad Ali. And he talked about boxing here in High Point. So who knew you're sitting in a boxing mecca up here at City Lake Park. Part of what the renovations also entailed were obviously the pool, some improvements in the park, and this building was a $26 million project in the end. But the pool is at the same frame, the same kind of outline and framework as what we used to have, but now we have a splash pad, a 50-meter pool. We have a zero depth entry pool with the play structure, and then a lazy river, if you can see that next to the old historical bathhouse on the far end. We did add one water slide, and it's a dual racer. So if y'all have another meeting and it gets competitive, y'all can come out maybe with another board or committee and y'all can race down there and see who goes down fastest. So we have another slide out there too. We renovated our existing slides and added a restroom building. One other aspect of this project is the connection part of it. We start talking about connectivity here in High Point on the Camp Ann side or opposite side of the park. And you may have seen the pedestrian bridge across the lake. There is a connection point. And now this park is connected to not only High Point Greenway, but the Bicentennial Greenway. So for High Pointers, you can get on a bike or start walking at Armstrong Park and walk all the way out here on the multi-use trail, which is pretty neat. And then go all the way to Greensboro to Gallimore Dairy Road. So having that connection now between the greenways, but High Point Greenway and the Bicentennial and the Piedmont Environmental Center was very important to us. So it was an exciting project. So I'll quit talking because I can keep talking for a while about Parks and Recreation and about how excited we are at this building. But we are really excited about this renovation, really excited about the future, a little nervous about how busy it's going to be out here this summer, but certainly excited about it. And I'm glad y'all are here and experienced it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. That means a lot. How long was the pool shut down while we were in renovations? 2 years?
It's been 3 years total with COVID.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Wonderful. On your agenda, we need to approve the February 1st, 2023 minutes. We do have a quorum in the room. So all of you got this via email from Sandy. Is there a motion made to approve the minutes and a second? All in favor, raise your hand. Board members, thank you so much. Motion carries. So now we move on to the director's report. Ms. Sandy.
Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you all. There you go. Thank you. I do appreciate it, Beth, and I appreciate each and every one of you that are here with us today for our meeting. We've got a great program, and so we're going to keep moving along. I'm going to share some items quickly. We did just meet in February. I can't believe it's March 1st now. So we shared a lot of items last month, but wanted to bring a few things to your attention in case you hadn't seen it. This article is about a Core City investor, and this is Ridvan Tatargill, that is from Chicago and has done many projects in High Point, such as Pandora's Manor. He shows in the Suites at Market Square. Anyway, he has bought several buildings in the Southwest, the area that we are encouraging small scale manufacturing and redevelopment. In High Point, some have called it Catalyst 2.0, with the stadium being the original Catalyst. But wonderful to see these buildings, historic in nature, being brought back to life and cleaned up. If you saw the original picture when I was looking on Google Maps, the one with the silo building there, it was covered in all types of dust collection pipe. You couldn't even see the brick. So they have wonderful plans for that, and it will continue to help our city improve. And they actually own both of those buildings, and they're going for light industrial zoning. Council has continued to think about the entire city with our ARPA funds and make good use of them. They have most recently approved funding for a homeless center, also for 300 Oak, and also for the shared use kitchen project, as well as some other reimbursement projects. But wonderful to see that ongoing and those federal funds making a real difference in our community. The enterprise reported this. So while we don't discuss projects we may or may not be working, the headline says Tesla eyes a site in High Point. And certainly if electric car company Tesla were to locate in North High Point, or excuse me, in High Point on Main Street, on North Main, we would all celebrate that, as it would be the third location in the state. So this is the shopping center that is located next to Lowe's, and would be a great location for that. This is another rezoning application, so stay tuned for more news. This was a great announcement for downtown. You may have seen this. Damon Milam had bought the former Byerly Law Office on East Commerce, and he says this, he targets and works with the people that that nobody wants to work with. So he is working with, he says it's the fastest growing segment of businesses. So it's lovely to have him invested in downtown High Point, providing services that are much needed as small businesses continue to grow. Again, we recognized Rachel earlier, but just wanted to mention this article with Rachel being appointed president and CEO, and we look forward to continued work with her. And then another of our board members, Justin Thompson, he was in the 2023 Tri Business Journal class of 40 under 40. So congratulations to him. I know you all join me in that. His media plans, which I learned so much more, Justin, by reading this article about your plans for regional expansion. So congratulations on that. And you will be a great success story and be able to hopefully teach others as well what this growth strategy looks like. And then this was a fun story. The He'll Build It group, they make custom home furnishings. Anyway, they had an opportunity to be featured on one of my favorite channels, HGTV, and the show Down Home Fab. So, we are continuing to get that national attention, and it was a really interesting and fun story that they were able to share. We will email you all these documents so you can spend a little bit more time because we want to get to some of the meat of the meeting today. So I'm kind of going to go fast. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our chair.
It takes a village. It takes a village. Actually, yeah, keep the mic there because you're going to hand it off. I'll stay right here so we don't have background. Now we're going to get an update on Carolina Core, the youth football club, and we're super excited. They've already introduced themselves, but thank you. Their names are on your agenda, and I'll turn it over to them for the update on this wonderful project in High Point.
Sure. So thank you so much for having us here today. Thank you, Sandy, for arranging this opportunity. Again, my name is Leah Hazelwood. My husband, Chase, and I are proud to be investors in Carolina Core FC, and I wanted to just briefly tell you why we said yes. My husband, Chase, is born and raised here in High Point. I moved here the day after I graduated college, so I've been here longer than anywhere else, so this is absolutely home for me. We have a family-owned business, Go Forth Pest Control, that's been a part of this community for over 64 years. So we've seen firsthand through that business and other businesses that we have that High Point is absolutely an environment where businesses can thrive. And we're passionate about giving back to that community that has supported us so much. And we feel that our involvement in this project is a way to do that. We believe in the vision of this team. We believe that soccer has the power to contribute significantly to the revitalization of downtown High Point. It's proven to be a sport that brings together people from all parts of our community. It will bring folks from outside High Point throughout the core to this area. We have 4 young kids that play soccer here. We go to soccer events throughout the core to Charlotte, Raleigh. I can promise you, guarantee you that we have a strong soccer culture here in High Point in the Carolina Core, and they're going to be excited to come together at a tremendous facility that's already underway to enjoy the sport of soccer. We also believe in the vision of the nonprofit arm of this team that we're going to tell you about. We absolutely believe that soccer and sport has the power to positively benefit youth lives. And we believe that by eliminating the pay-to-play model and providing a high level of soccer that has no financial barriers will allow children in our area to dream higher and not cut off opportunities just due to financial barriers. We have proved here today that world-class soccer stars have come from our small, what many perceive our small town. And my husband and I truly believe that there are more that will come from this area when we, bring this team here and then eliminate that pay-to-play model. So we'd like to share with you our video that tells you why and how we came to be.
I was fall of 2021, Brian Gavigan asked me to participate in a luncheon he was having about sort of an economic development project. And I quickly realized that there was some real efforts to bring pro soccer to the Triad. Soccer has been a big part of my life, but I didn't really realize it until reflecting on it recently. We did a family trip years ago. I think we were all still in college, and we went to Kenya. So we challenged the local villagers to a soccer match. And it was just on like a dirt field. And what other sport can you think of in the world where you can go halfway across the world, pick up a game, not speak a word to each other, and love it?
People may be surprised to know that, I come from a relatively small town, High Point, North Carolina. I think like for myself, when I was growing up, kicking against my house and breaking windows, and then, a long time later, speaking to like Jurgen Klinsmann and what he was doing at my age, and he was kicking off the wall of his dad's bakery. Same thing, but just in two completely different parts of the world. And then we meet in '98 in our first World Cup game.
When you talk about having something in our region that can attract all types of people, soccer becomes that very thing. It's a thing that unites crowds and populations all cheering for the same thing. And when we can unite, then we can do so much more together.
People don't realize that North Carolina has a super rich soccer history. Also, having grown up playing soccer here, we were a part of that grassroots era that was sweeping the nation, and it certainly caught on in North Carolina.
The Triad is ready for pro soccer. We want it. It is a hotbed. We've got the skills, we've got the talent, we've got the player pathway, and now we're completing it with MLS Next Pro. We're ready for it.
There's a melting pot of people in the Triad that are really ready to support this. Not just High Point, Winston, Greensboro, a team for the Triad, and all the local communities in between.
When you think of Triad, you think of Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and High Point, but really just over half of the residents of the Triad live in those three cities, which means that there are so many communities that are represented.
Kids can have local heroes. It'd be great to have a local club where my boy has a local top and he's walking around with that top on, creating that brand and supporting that team.
If there was that local franchise when I was growing up, I would have loved it. It would have really been the kickstart for maybe some better things. And not just for me, but for my teammates, my peers.
Being able to have that is just such a huge advantage because you have people kind of paving the way for you. They're saying to you, this is the pathway to the pros. Whereas we just didn't have that.
The more high-level soccer you can have in front of kids growing up, they're going to be able to learn, they're going to be able to model their behaviors, they're going to be able to emulate what they're seeing, and it's just going to make them more passionate about the game.
You see those players playing every weekend, you had posters of them up on your wall, you'd want to be that player, you'd mimic that player on the field on a weekend.
Some kids will start watching and then someday be on the field playing. The hometown heroes, the homegrown players.
There were going to be people that grew up and played soccer in the Triad who are going to get paid to play soccer for a living because of this team.
We want to reach and touch everybody, and we want to give everybody the opportunity to become a professional player.
I would love for us to do just as much off-field support and development as we do on the field. For me, this opportunity is really about what are the opportunities that can be brought through the vehicle of soccer.
That's a different commitment than what the other sports teams have taken on. It's not about making money. It's about developing the community and helping the people here.
People are aware that a professional sports team is coming to this region. That means people are now more aware of what they can do in this region, and it just attracts even more opportunity for all of us here.
We're going to revitalize downtown High Point. We're going to be having an opportunity for the community to come together on another stage.
But everything's in the lead with fan experience. Yeah, you track numbers, but we're not leading with numbers. That's not inspirational. So every decision's being made with how does this impact the fan experience?
If you've been to any of the MLS games, you can tell that North Carolina has a really raucous soccer culture. And we have an opportunity here in the Triad to build something local, easy to get to.
It's amazing how soccer impacts to a lot of people. You see, in every corner, Latinos, adults, or youth, they playing. Every day. You go to a park, hey, they're playing over there. So it's huge for the Triad. If a team comes, a professional team, being so close to them, it will be a great impact.
having a team locally that, quite frankly, from anywhere in the Triad, you can get there in about 30 minutes or less with your family is very attractive.
The Triad is crying out for this type of opportunity, this type of pull for families and for kids. I mean, you're bringing together people from all different cultures, backgrounds, demographics, and it's to enjoy an experience. It's to share an experience.
Bueno, la pasión de los hispanos, para nosotros la llevamos en la sangre, en el alma. Okay, es algo grande, es increíble cuánta es la multitud que ama el soccer. Como le decimos nosotros, el verdadero fútbol.
My hope is that through this MLS Next Pro team and club that we show the nation and the world that the Triad is a phenomenal place for soccer, that we have talents and skills and we have young people that have the potential to make it all the way to the big leagues, that we are going to help untap that potential.
As someone that grew up here, that would be as cool as it gets. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I speak pretty passionate about it because just to see the growth, the evolution, the hard work that's many people have put forward, it would mean everything.
It's super exciting for me to be able to come back home. Having started here comes full circle, really with no professional soccer, to watch it culminate in what it's become, that's the dream for me.
I'll start us off. There's a few of us speaking, so we'll stay over here for you guys. Andy Smith, president of Carolina Core FC. I'll start off by saying our name came to being because we wanted to be focused on the core. Our goal and mission is to bring people from the core to High Point, to downtown, to our games starting in April of 2024. I will say we've made a lot of progress since we announced our name back in November, but this has been a project that people like Brian Gavigan in the back room has been working on for a number of years. I've been here in market for about a year, been working on this project for about a year and a half. And I will say there's still a lot of work to be done. And a lot of people in this room have been a part of that. And today we just want to spend some time and just sort of present where we are, some things that we're working on, and give you guys some updates. Just gives you a little bit of table of contents, what we're going to run through today. Obviously the club timeline, who we are, media impacts and partnership opportunities, our foundation, and a little bit of some other opportunities.
It feels real being 13 months away from first kick, and September 7th, the City Council approved our stadium plans and funding. Our league announcement November 10th that everybody saw from the video, which was amazing, standing room only. And this spring, our logo and colors and crest will be revealed. Our head coach this summer, jersey reveal in the fall of 2023. And then things happen really fast. January 2024 preseason camp begins, the renovation of the stadium in March of 24, and then our first kick, sold out Truist Point in April, where the stadium will be brought. Our club DNA starts with accessibility, inclusion, development, diversity, and respect for everyone. And I won't read Megan Oglesby, our principal investor at Carolina Core, the entire quote. This isn't just a financial infusion. This is believing in our community and our entire core through our platform of professional soccer. I'd like to show this slide. Visually, it is a very different makeup for an ownership group, like nothing I've ever seen, to be honest with you. Very diverse, very young, just a dynamic group of business leaders from this area that have come together. There are a few from out that aren't in this picture, but it's just awesome to see the group that's come together, obviously led by Megan and her cousins, Mark and Matt, Bentley. And Megan, we look at her background. She played soccer as a kid. She's not doing this because she played soccer. She's passionate about soccer, which she is. Her why is to bring growth and economic development to downtown High Point. Executive team, obviously a few of us are here. We've worked on projects all over the country. Myself,
Evan and Chris have worked on other teams together. So we're excited to sort of get the band back together. Obviously, we look at Brian as the godfather of this group, bringing us all here from day one. And Eddie Pope is really the icing on the cake. From the sporting side, bringing someone of his level to this community is very meaningful and impactful. This is our 2024 league map. Our soccer league is different than other sports leagues. It is a true international and national league. All the teams that you see in front of us here are the reserve team of Major League Soccer. They're going to be coming into our market to play our team. Some of you have been to a Charlotte FC game or Nashville or Atlanta. Guys, they're going to come with their first team at some point to High Point, and it's going to transform, the reach for us to be nationally relevant. And we're excited about the opportunity with First Kick. This next slide showcases U.S. sports fans and how they respond to sponsorship activation, and gets us really excited where MLS and MLS Next Pro is. Years ago, from a company standpoint, you put your logo in the outfield. Well, with the innovation of soccer and other sports leagues that you see in front, like NWSL and WNBA, our leagues are at the forefront with innovation and social following. And we're really excited to be able to partner with global brands and local mom and pop shops that want to really take their business to the next level. We are not just High Point's team. We're truly all 12 surrounding counties team, 1.7 million in population. The number one youth sport played in the state of North Carolina is soccer. So we're really excited about this opportunity with over 86,000 youth within our region. A lot of questions on what the facility is going to look like for a soccer match. And this gives you sort of an idea. We're in the process of working through the construction with Samet. This gives a depiction of what it will look like for a soccer match. The only thing I'll say that we're not showing here is the infield for baseball will be, let's call it a different shade of green. That's the only thing where you'll see baseball and soccer sort of together. But otherwise, it's going to look like a soccer facility. We'll have field boards sort of in the outfield. We're going to have a beer garden tent with some high tops. There's some other things that you'll see on the field that are way into the future, not in year one, like food trucks and things like that won't be driving onto the field. But just gives you an idea of the things that we can do in that outfield to make it special. Some of the upgrades that are coming are going to be, which you can't see behind the scenes, is we're putting another locker room specifically for soccer. And we're doing some demolition to just down first baseline and in 3 of the sections where we're going to have some new hospitality areas and give a better sight line for soccer and some new opportunities with a new bar for both baseball and soccer. This just sort of jumps into that. The Catalyst Club will have different functions and how we utilize it, as well as the suites. The new corner bar is really the big thing that we're all excited about, using that space on that empty pad in the right field, which is going to be a great spot for soccer, and we think for baseball too. I think it's going to be a great place for people to congregate. And then on the field, obviously, the beer garden is going to be a cool place for anyone who's got a ticket to the game to jump in there.
This is our November 10th press conference and the data and analytics from the event. It was a standing room only, just an amazing event. The media cash values there, so thanks to our partner who provided that data. But it just shows the power of soccer, and the time is now. Partnership opportunities. Guys come across, the right regional and national brand. We would love to talk about opportunities to help grow their brand, create media exposure, co-promote one another, and support community through sport. In soccer, the front of jersey is, and all 5 of those spots there for 5 different companies, front of jersey, right sleeve, on the shorts, and then back jersey. But we're excited. We're engaged with publicly traded companies and large companies here, throughout the core. Media exposure wise, we're gonna lead with data and analytics with all corporate partners. We have a phenomenal partner with Major League Soccer with Apple TV. Everybody knows Ted Lasso. We're gonna be on that same platform. And then, you know, opportunities with social media and so forth.
So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the Carolina Core Soccer Foundation. To be clear, this is a separate entity from the pro team, Carolina Core FC. We are obviously a close partner. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're going to be the hub for MLS Next, which Eddie's going to talk to you guys a little bit about here in just a minute. So our mission at the Carolina Core Soccer Foundation, as I said earlier, is to ensure access to high quality soccer because we believe that soccer promotes and enhances the development of youth players both on and off the field, and that it will ultimately strengthen leadership in our community. Real quick though, our programming, Eddie's going to talk to you about the academy side. We also are going to be very active in the community outside the academy. So it's not just going to be the kids that are playing in the academy, but getting into the community with clinics, partnering with other nonprofits in the area to bring not only sport, but the habits that sport fosters: healthy eating, exercise, character development, and those sorts of things. This is our board for the Carolina Core Soccer Foundation. I'm sure that you guys recognize several of the faces that are up here. Another really passionate, engaged group that represents folks from throughout the Carolina Core.
So for this, it's sometimes, you know, youth soccer can be confusing in the way that you make it from a youth player all the way to the pros. So as Leah said, MLS Next is sort of the youth side of the professional team, and you can see the pyramid here. The only issue with MLS Next and a lot of other higher level youth soccer leagues is that they're extremely expensive. So for example, a fall and a spring season may cost a parent anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 plus, which obviously that's going to exclude a lot of families and a lot of players, regardless of how good they are. Some parents figure out a way to make it work, and most parents just drop out. And you can also understand that from the socioeconomic standpoint, we just lose a lot of kids, and that's across the nation. So the Carolina Core Soccer Foundation, obviously our goal is to make our MLS Next program free to everyone. And for us, we feel like in that way we can touch all communities and all price points. We will absolutely eliminate that barrier. I can tell you, for example, from our Latino population, which we really need to be a part of our soccer programs from our underserved communities, we have some of the best players and they never touch the field. Maybe they start out at the youth levels, but then after that, again, when they hit 8, 9 years old, they choose to drop out and play other sports: basketball, football, baseball, and things like that. So I'm excited because I think we will see this injection of kids that will show up to tryouts, will show up to practices, show up to games, and really boost our MLS Next Pro team. And so as executive director, you know, as you heard some of the individuals say here, I'm from High Point, North Carolina. I went to Jamestown Middle School. I don't know if it's still here anymore. Southwest Guilford High School. But I also swim in that pool out there. Went down those water slides. Rode the train that used to go around here. Is the train still here? Is that the train?
It's purple now.
It's purple. What about the fire truck? Is that still out there as well? No. But I grew up here, and so for me to come back and see this and be a part of this is amazing. I've played all over the world, but when I heard about this opportunity, for me it was a no-brainer to come back and be able to give back to my community and to this team. So I'm super excited about this. But I'm also excited about the fact that although I made it pretty far, it was almost like a lightning strike. And I want to be able to give that opportunity to the vast majority of kids in this area. The coaching's better, the training's better, the teams are better, the pathway has not been better. And so this is something that we feel like we're going to be able to fix. So one of the things that we'll be able to do as well is, as you can see, the player scholarships, just the assets that we'll be able to provide. And then also we'll be able to get out in the community for the really young kids who don't really have that exposure to soccer. We'll be able to get out in the community as the pro team to do clinics, coach the kids, get them interested into the sport, but then also be able to tell them that, guess what, if you can make it, it will be free and you can make yourself a professional soccer player someday. So as kids come to the games and they watch the professional players on the field and they go back to their training sessions and their practices, they'll know that there is a possibility that they can make it all the way one day.
I'll wrap it up and just say thank you guys for having us here today. And we appreciate your support and hope to see you guys out there in the spring of 24.
Okay, I think I'm on. Thank you. That is so motivating. I mean, we saw the press conference, we watched it in the news media, but we're a little bit distant. So absolutely wonderful. We all need to be sharing that on our social media platforms as well and getting excited. With that, I'm going to turn the podium back over to Sandy. She's going to talk about the annual report.
Yes, and Sarah's going to help me. So I take it I need to switch. You hear me? Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. This is exciting to hear about all of the work going on with soccer for our community. And I'm so thrilled for the athletes in our city, our county, our region, the Carolina core in the state of North Carolina. So thank you all for that. But another exciting thing for this meeting for us as a staff team, and hopefully you guys as a board serving the city of High Point and the region in economic development, is we have a long history of producing an annual report. And we're pleased to share with you today the report that covers the 2022 year. And we are showing here on the screen, you do have them in front of you. We'll have lots more copies if you would like them and would like to share with others. Just a little bit about the report. We wanted to do a little bit of a different format. And if you see, I have this very small portfolio. People like their media digital or smaller rather than large, lots of things to carry, particularly our clients. And so the idea was to have a smaller annual report this year. It is deeper and richer in content with 24 full pages. And we were able to accomplish that and have more pages than we had had previously because we did the work in-house. So Sarah has wonderful marketing skills along with Brandon, Ryan, Noel, Jerron, all helped us, as well as our planning staff, the GIS work that was done. But just to tell you a little bit about this cover, and this is actually a finishing oven at Metalworks of High Point. So Brandon took this shot. They went and did some for that project we worked on. They invested in South High Point, renovated an older building, and are hiring new employees there. But Brandon took this rather creative shot, and we worked it into that cover, and I was just so thrilled that that kind of gave us an intriguing cover, very different from what we've had in years past. The little nod there with the Instagram and kind of Twitter handle at Metalworks of High Point, but now you know that's a finishing oven. So, the other things, again, I'll let Sarah maybe talk a little bit more about the report itself and some of the individual pages, but I think it's a wonderful piece of material that we'll use here locally to share with people, but also to clients from around the world. So thank you, Sarah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sandy. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you are enjoying the report that is in front of you. I have selected just a few spreads to share with you a few details about. Not far into the report is a spread on our regionalism, the Carolina Core. We are so proud of the Core. It has had an incredible year with 4 major announcements, which are highlighted here. High Point is in the center of them all. And we are really highlighting, of course, the transportation transformation that is taking place within the Carolina Core. However, as High Pointers, we can be proud that we have been home to the likes of Thomasville buses, Mickey truck bodies, and even Old Dominion for 100+ years. So transportation is not new to us. It is what we have been doing, and we're so excited to see this continuing across our region. The second spread is designed to honor kind of our current status, right? Where we are as a community. We highlight our top 20 largest employers. This is a survey that we conduct annually, and you can see those listed there. We are also known, of course, as North Carolina's international city, largely because of our role within the furniture market. And so we thought it was important to include that in our annual report this year. So there in that blue stripe, you do see flags of countries who have major operations operating here within our city limits. And then as a complement to that, we love to showcase our existing industry members. We have a vast diversity of companies, everything from manufacturing to distribution, of course, furniture, but also healthcare and life sciences. And then there at the bottom, those are our key areas for growth. So as Sandy, Montana, and I and the team continue to work on recruitment, we are specifically looking for companies within those areas. And of course, it wouldn't be an annual report if we didn't talk about and brag on our projects. So this is the first spread leading into projects, and we were fortunate to see 2 incredible groundbreakings in 2022. One for Volvo Financial Services, who has located their worldwide headquarters here in High Point. And then also for Ecolab, who got their start in High Point as K Chemical back in the early 1900s. They have found their way back to their roots, and they are now building the largest industrial building here in High Point at 1.2 million square feet. And that building will be the first at the High Point North Industrial Center. So really excited to see that site take off. And just as a fun mention, both Volvo and Ecolab are on Fortune 500 list. This one might be my favorite. As someone who lives and works in downtown, this was a really fun spread to work on. And we wanted to design something that would celebrate all of the openings that have happened in our downtown during 2022. And that included our food hall, as well as local retail on Church Street with the Blooming Board and High Point Trousers. And this also included Nomad Wine Works, which was an economic development corporation project. The photos we chose were very specific. We wanted them to feel inviting and even irresistible to our clients, right? We put this in front of them. We want them to know the kind of experience they can expect when they walk in to these businesses. And of course, we had to acknowledge our new friends at the Carolina Core FC. So you see their logo there, and we can't wait for spring of 24. But we are at a point now where not everything happening in downtown High Point can fit on one page. So we have a second spread about downtown, and this is the A to Z listing of everything that we have going on in a map view, which was a really fun project to take on. We partnered very closely with our planning department as well as our communications department to get to this. And within the map, we have things categorized by developments that are completed. Those are in green. Those that are under construction, they're in orange. And also those that are announced and will be coming soon, those are in blue. As a complement, we chose just a few to pull out on the next page. And of those that we pulled out, we wanted to show how many office projects are happening in our downtown. That is a great thing that even amidst the COVID environment of the last 3 years that we have had office come to our downtown. Highlighted here are Stratagon, Rudd, as well as the buildings by Dr. Peters. We also wanted to highlight some quality of life stops from Paddle South Brewery, Plank Street Tavern, and of course our award-winning Children's Museum. And then maybe the most special, Sandy speaks often about economic development for all. And so we are really, really proud to have a special blend coming to downtown High Point, providing opportunities for adults with disabilities. And so with that, we just want to say thank you. We hope that you will share this report with your audiences. It is available digitally on our website as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
you. All right.
Oh, now you're talking about home. Okay. I love a microphone. I have to say that. Okay. For the goodness of time, we're 5 minutes from the end. And Ken's going to look at me and say, we just need to take the time because we're all together and it's a good day. So any of our partners listed on the agenda have something they would like to add. Would you signal to me with your hand? Otherwise, I won't go around the room. Yes. High Point University. Did you guys have a really good parents weekend? I think the last meeting we had was right before parents weekend.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. A majillion people came?
Yes.
Okay.
So 2024. Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay Ayers, introduced myself earlier. 2024 is going to be an amazing year because you guys get here officially and High Point University turns 100 years old. So Dr. Romaine says we're going to have a bunch of parties. I'll make sure you're all invited. So we, just like the chair said, we have most certainly had a great family weekend. I'm sure you've seen a ton of HP families in town. We've had events literally every single weekend. So I'm a little tired. I think all of our staff is a little tired, but it is just such a blessing that we keep on these events year after year. We're very much looking forward to commencement and then securing our upcoming class for the next year, 2023, 2024. And also, if you have not been, who's been to the Quain Arena for a basketball game? Just about everybody. So if you have not, sorry, you just missed it. The men actually play tonight. You can stream on ESPN Plus when you get home. And they play Charleston Southern in the Big South Tournament in Charlotte at Bojangles Arena. But the really cool thing about our arena was we opened it completely free to the community. Hopefully you heard about that through your circles and networks. How awesome is that for talking about children that are exposed to these amazing sports? And that is really one thing that we're extremely passionate about. My job is to connect the community to HPU. So any feedback you have, I welcome it. We have 3 spring sports games. It's also going to be completely free to the community. That'll be 2 lacrosse games and 1 baseball game. So kids in the community and all families can come and enjoy. Would love to get connected with you if you want to get more connected to HPU. But each of you in this room are so vital and you support us every day. So we are so thankful. We can't do what we do or grow like we do without you. So thank you.
Right. And just be reminded that commencement is the first weekend in May.
It's not Mother's Day weekend.
No.
Restaurants are happy about that.
Lovely. It's a big deal and it's lovely that haven't, oh yeah, we all want to go to a party for the 100th birthday. Anybody else on the list? County? Yes, sir.
I was just wondering if you could give an update on the new professional schools, HPN.
Sure. Yeah, our new academic graduate level programs, very, very exciting. We've got a law school coming. Can you believe we live in a city that's going to have a law school? We'll have a school of optometry. We will have a school of nursing. So our academics are growing by leaps and bounds. and we're very, very excited. In dentistry, forgot about dentistry as well. So really, the graduate programs will sustain the future of High Point University, and we're very much excited about that.
So Lindsay, one question, what's the student head count?
6,000.
6,000.
Any more questions about that?
Yeah, it's very different. I've been in High Point 22 years and it's very different than when I moved here. So way to go. Go High Point U. Anybody else for Miss Carlina? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The county, we are starting our budget conversations tomorrow in a work session, but we're also going to hold town halls to hear from our constituents about what they would like to see in our budgets. The one in High Point is going to be March the 20th at 6:30 at the Carl Chambers YMCA. And also our CBO, EBO grant cycle is open through the end of March.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Anyone else for the good of the group? Just cognizant of time so that we can enter into closed session because there are some reports that need to be made in closed session. Okay, if not, Sandy, you good?
Yes, yes.
Come provide guidance on closed session, please, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. We will need to stop streaming.
And our guests can leave. But thank you.
That's the one. It's not. Just slide it. Yep. How do we stop streaming?